Welcome to Café Anyway.
It's Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's an honor to have you here on the show called
Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's Mike Matthews. It's FF episode 2849. It's Mike Matthews, and I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling fine, and I am wishing that you would tell everyone that you knew about this podcast so we'd be more popular. But that's probably not going to happen.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Because you probably can't even find this podcast because I can't find it when I go look it on any of the major apps,
Mike's
podcast apps.
Daily
And podcast apps
Podcast
are disappearing.
Yeah.
They're turning into video. Everybody's trying to become YouTube. So Spotify's trying to become YouTube. It's weird. So I guess my point is that I should start the show with something that grabs you, that makes you go, ooh, I don't even know what's gonna happen next. What's this all about? How about how plants got problems? Well, plants can't problem solve like we can. Well, actually, we can't problem solve as well as plants can. It's widely believed that humans or various types of animals found on the planet are intelligent. However, researchers have claimed that plants also showcase their intelligence, and that is defined by more than 70 definitions. Flexible, real-time, and adaptive responses found in plants are indicative of intelligence. There are more than 70 definitions that are published for intelligence, and there is no agreement on what it is, even within a given field. And we can perceive neighboring plants without ever touching them by sensing far red light ratios reflected off leaves. I know none of that made any sense whatsoever, but that's what I got.
And here's today's podcast picture.
From the interestingengineering.com people, the podcast picture is of some plants, but more so of my great dog that I had for 11 years, the late great Basil the Boxer. There's a picture of him in Podcastro Valley 9 years ago, around this time, going on a nice fun walk with him. And he would occasionally eat the plants, because that's what dogs do when they're having digestive issues. Many people believe that intelligence requires a central nervous system with electrical signals acting as the medium for processing information. Some plant biologists equate plant vascular systems with central nervous systems and propose that they propose that some kind of centralized entity in the plant allows them to process information and respond. Like, isn't that the Secret Life of Plants? Is that what that book was?
Which is a very good thing.
What?
Which is a very, very good thing.
Because he's afraid of plants taking over and of being on a sinking electric boat. Those are his two big worries in life. But this one environmental scientist guy said there is no good evidence for any of the homologies with the
It's Mikey Fikey. Great.
With the nervous system, even though we clearly see electrical signaling in plants, but the question is, how important is that signaling for a plant's ability to process environmental cues? Says this guy, who is the lead author.
This nightmare of a show.
And professor of this nightmare of a show in the Department of Ecology and Evolutionary Biology in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences at Cornell University. That's how you justify giving someone a bunch of money. What do they call them? A stipend of what do they call what they give professors? The amount of the wage. It's not wages. It's not salary.
Mike's absolutely useless review.
Tenor? Whatever. That's my useless review. But so many what I am reviewing about these colleges is to make them more specialized, to make them rationalize giving them all the money. They add more and more adjectives to their name. So some plants have been shown to remember and learn from past experiences. For instance, the Mimosa pudica plant, known for its rapid leaf folding response to touch,
Mike's Daily Podcast Master Pod Eater,
can learn to ignore harmless stimuli over time. This little play for you from the Mike's theater thing is called Ignoring Harmless Stimuli. Hey, everybody, there's some harmless stimuli coming at you. Here's what you should do, is to ignore it.
Wow, shuts, wow.
With the strange intros, like that one that just flew by you, that said, wow, shuts, wow. What does that even mean? Is that even in English? What is that? Questions? Thank you. Thank you. One person clapping. Plants exhibit behaviors that can be considered complex, such as opening and closing flowers and orienting leaves and stems toward light. That came from earth.com. Instead of electrical signaling, as I pour you this delicious root beer, and Brewmaster, you're here a little early today.
Yeah, Mike, I got so enthralled with that story about plants, and then I realized I make the root beer, and plants have roots. So there you go. Oh boy.
Wow, you sounded kind of like the guy from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Gus.
Yeah, and I guess. Oh boy, drink right now, could you?
All right, I'm going to drink the root beer.
I'm the brewmaster. Oh boy.
Ridiculous random post.
So, yeah. Ridiculous random posts. So, plants don't have electrical signaling, there's chemical signaling. And studies by other researchers have shown that plant cells have broad light spectrum perception and sensory molecules to detect very specific volatile compounds coming from neighboring plants. And that is why plants,
The Nosebleed section,
are annoying. No, they have problem-solving skills in such a way as kind of like other animals and such. And I think the word such is so cool, so we should use it every day as much as possible. So there was this baseball game that was going on, the congressional baseball game. I didn't even know they did this. I guess I did.
Mike ripped someone a new one.
But I didn't realize that it still goes on. Because someone got shot a couple of years back. As we go outside a Café Anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on Earth in the land of Ameritopica. Republicans came out ahead in the congressional baseball game recently. It was 31-11, marking the fourth year in a row that Republicans have been victorious, but the event was interrupted a couple of times by the usual suspects ahead of the national anthem.
The Mike Tip.
Pro-Hamas activists along the Democrat side chanted Free Palestine, but Republicans quickly broke out in USA chants in response. That's how you stop any protest that you don't like. You just scream out USA a bunch of times. That's the Mike Tip. That wasn't the only interruption. Green activists from Climate Defense stormed the field, but were quickly tackled. They were tackled and arrested by Capitol Police, according to Katie Pavlich. And speaking of protests,
The Micropedia in Vanica.
as we look through this part of the Micropedia in Sanica, the Associated Press says a takeover of a building at Cal State LA by demonstrators protesting Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza. This was last week. It ended, leaving the facility trashed and covered with graffiti. Pro-Palestine demonstrators barricaded the multi-story student...
Wine. Well, I like.
The Whiny White Man Wine List.
Well, my whining here is that they took over this building, the Student Services building. Workers inside had to shelter in place, but it ended up being empty. The university posted a protest action alert on its website announcing that all main campus classes remote until further notice and asked people to stay away. Is this going to be what we like, the way people look back at the 60s and the protests then? Is that what we're going to do, is look back at the protests in 2024 in the 20s? CBS said on social media the protesters said University President Berenica Johnson-Eanes continues to dance around and repress
Live and local.
our divestment demands, because they wanted them to divest in anything to do with war and anything to do with Israel. Referencing calls for the university to halt any funding or financial support of businesses tied to Israel. We've been waiting for a response to our demands for 18 days. There is no more time to spare while families are being massacred by U.S. imperialism and each minute that passes. Don't know if any of them would be reading this particular...
Everybody make some noise!
Oh, what?
Bringing to you
Me?
live from...
What? Podcaster Valleyton.
Podcaster Valleymont.
That's what I didn't say.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Wonderful. Exciting.
Swan.
I want to tell you this little bit, that from Israel Hayom, a new report shows that great lengths at which Israel went before deciding to launch the daring raid on the refugee camp, which culminated with the rescue of 4 hostages. According to the report, on May 12th, Israeli intelligence uncovered information about the location of 4 hostages. From that moment on, every Israeli intelligence branch focused their effort around the clock to pinpoint the exact location. Undercover operatives, adept at blending into the local population, were dispatched to a market area there. Their mission was twofold: to gather intelligence from residents and to verify information obtained through interrogations of detained individuals associated with Hamas. Aerial observation and sophisticated technology means also played a crucial role in collecting intelligence. After 19 days of intensive collaborative efforts, the various units managed to compile accurate intelligence about the locations where the Israeli hostages were being held. It was discovered that one of the hostages was confined on the first floor of one building, while 3 other were held captive on the 3rd floor of another building, approximately 800 meters away. The ages ranged from 21 to 40. They were all saved. So, yeah, that bit of interesting news. Just all of this. Not going to comment at the moment, but plants do feel pain. Or they're working through problems. Hopefully we are too, as a society, working through problems. Hey, look who's here. Hi, Mike Matthews. It's Chely Shoehart, gift shop supervisor. Somebody's going to say something really strange right now.
Mike's scavenger hunt.
Oh yeah, I'm doing a scavenger hunt, trying to find snow globes. Mike Matthews, they're not eggs, they're snow globes. Yes, but
Matthews News.
In the latest news is that you are passing off snow globes, like eggs as snow globes lately. No, I'm not. Mike Matthews, look, it's Nelly. And Benita's here too. Hi, Mom. It's Benita the rodeo queen. Hi, y'all doing? I just made an omelet out of some of Chely Shoehart's snow globes. I love a good omelet. Yum. Look who else is here. Oh, Mike, this is Floyd the Floorman.
News random.
And this is John Deere, the engineer. Mike, that guy just jumped in out of nowhere saying that there's some random news right here, Mike Matthews. Mm-hmm.
Yes, random news. Right now, right this second. Ah, okay. Oh, hey, the guy that did that movie Hanky Panky, he now has it on Tubi. His name is Nick Roth. I interviewed him. And before, you couldn't find, you had to go to a special film premiere type thing at a theater premiere. He teaches at Cal State University Northridge. I don't know if they have any protests going on there, but apparently you can see his movie now on Tubi. TUBI. You just go in and look up Hanky Panky. You don't want the old one from like the 60s or 70s with Dean Martin or something. You want the newest one. And it's very bizarre, and he made this movie with a bunch of his friends. They were up in a cabin in Utah. I got the whole interview and description of how it was done with him in our interview, into an interview that you can find at mikesdailypodcast.com. Just click on the home button, and you'll find interviews under N. So I guess that'd be M through something. And there is mikesdailypodcast.com. I would have had it up on my laptop here, but lately I've been watching the live cam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Live cams are awesome. From Pismo Beach. Because a part of me wishes I was at Pismo Beach. Oh, looks like a beautiful day there today. Anyway, yeah, you click on the home. It's M through R. Is the interviews M through R is what you want to do, and you'll hear the interview. That's my little news random for you that you now can see it for free if you got Tubi.
Will you shut ups? Liberty Nation Freedom Phone for All.
And that would mean that that's time to call. Call now. This number.
Call Mike at the Café Anyway hotline. Area code 510-228-4640.
And we now go to the mainframe and find out all things Mike's Daily Podcast, where to find all that interesting stuff and other ways to contact me. We hear from now all of that from A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!